All good to go.
Good, thank you, Eric, very much. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. We will convene the regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, July 1 of 2025. Appreciate everybody joining us, and would ask if you have any type of an electronic communication device, if you'd please put it on silent or vibrate, we would appreciate that courtesy. We'll also note that the meeting is being live streamed as well as recorded. We always begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'd ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Commissioner Sonata, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you all. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We have a quorum. As we always do, we will have two opportunities for public comment. One will be in just a few moments, and then the other one will be prior to adjournment. We ask that your comments be related to county government matters. Also, if you could try to limit your time to about 5 minutes or so, we'd appreciate that courtesy. You're welcome to speak at both times, both at the beginning and at the end. If you just wish to speak once, that's fine, or if you're just here to listen, that's also fine. Next on the agenda would be row officer reports and comments. We always set aside time for any of our elected row officers if they wish to join us. We give them the opportunity to speak, but so far we have none in the room. So that takes us to public comment. And if you do have a comment, we'll recognize you. If you can state your name for the record, we'll hear what you have to say. Are there any public comments? Yes, Mrs. Hahn, good morning.
Hi, did you get my email?
Last week, yes. Did you get my response?
I did not.
I responded to you. It was either, I think it was Thursday, maybe Friday. I indicated that I was attending a conference in Clearfield County and I would be returning on Monday, and that Mr. Germaini was also out of town last week, and that we anticipated that you would hear back from him on Monday, which I hope you did yesterday. I hope you received the information that you had requested.
I did receive that information. We can talk about that in a minute. So one of the first questions I have, though, was why the Republican committee was not notified of the certification of the election.
My understanding was, first of all, that the meeting was legally advertised in the legal ad section. Secondly, we've asked Mr. Germaini every time to contact the two-party chairs. He indicated to us that he had done so. In fact, I'm sorry?
You did?
Yeah, said if I had any questions. No, that if I had any questions.
But
that
notified
was-
of the meeting or just of the
No, not in the meeting,
yeah,
just,
not of the meeting?
Well, my understanding was he made the effort to contact both chairs. In fact, the chair of the Democratic Party happened to be at that,
Yes, I saw that.
at that meeting.
Well, nobody got a notification of the meeting, and I understand it's in the paper, but as we have stated to you before, we don't get the Newcastle News.
And I would remind you that that is a courtesy. We're not obligated by law to notify the party chairs. We do that as a courtesy, and from what I understand, he did make the effort.
Well, and it's a particular courtesy when our election falls in that particular primary election. So the entire Republican committee, the decision on that, we didn't get to weigh in until we found out later about the meeting. And even prior to the certification, before the election even, the office was notified that there was an issue with Joan Contai's petition. She was listed on Newcastle 2-2. And she's in 2-3. She is also now recorded as a winner in 2-2. According to your official results, she won a precinct that she doesn't live in.
My understanding is that's based upon the listing on the nominating petition that was submitted by her to the election office.
So-
That's what was stated on that nominating
Right.
petition.
So on the nominating petition, on the front page, it says 2-3. She incorrectly put 2-2 on the back. But she's been a committee member for a long time. I would think that the committee or the office does have to look at the front page to make the signatures are correct. So, if this was a simple error that could have been corrected. We became aware of it and Joan called the office, Lynn went into the office to talk to him about it. Tim was, reiterated that she filled it out incorrectly. This is just a simple error that could have been corrected. She lives in 2-3. This could have been corrected. It's a simple error. And so she was listed on the ballot in 2-2 and she won. And now she's listed as a committee member there when she's not even supposed to be there. She's also aware that people wrote her in the proper district. So when I had requested the report so that I could see all of the write-in names, none of the write-ins are listed for her precinct, none. So it's impossible for us to evaluate properly or certify for the committee that there wasn't one person in that district that she didn't get a vote for.
Is the information that was emailed to you yesterday, does that information have her name to your knowledge?
No.
I would, in fact, Tim just walking up the steps. I would suggest that at the conclusion of the meeting that you may want to circle back to him and bring that to his attention.
Well, I just did try to speak with him, but he's adamant that he couldn't do anything to fix this, which we disagree with. We think that these sorts of issues have been corrected at other times. But I have only evaluated the Republican committee write-in names, not the entire list. But of course, we have to focus on that. We have to have a meeting within 30 days of the certification, which we're not going to be able to do timely until we look into this further. But when I went through those write-in names, it does not match what is listed on the county website. There are names of winners that you report as winners that I don't have write-in signatures for. There are names listed, and vice versa. I mean, it's just a mess, to be honest. I can't make rhyme or reason out of it. And in some precincts where you list a winner, you have names that I can't even read. They're either cropped off, majority actually of the names are cropped off, but for the most part, I can decipher who the write-in name is, but a lot of them are just cropped off. So you don't have a complete name. So that needs to be addressed. We need the complete signatures and all write-ins. In Jones precinct, the report on the county website says that there were 3 write-ins. And as I said, there are no write-ins listed at all. They were put under as scattered, but there are no write-ins at all for Joan in her own precinct. So I can't see, who were the 3 people? We have no way of, and hers is not the only precinct. It would take quite a while for me to go through the work I did on this yesterday with limited time. But there's definitely some errors. Some precincts you had 8 or 11 people as write-ins, but then you don't even have any listed, any of the names. And it just doesn't seem feasible that that many people would be written in and they were all wrong. And if they were the wrong, sometimes you can see in the write-in report a name, and I looked it up, and that person was a Democrat. So they shouldn't have been listed properly.
No, if their name was written in, it has to count, regardless of their political affiliation. If someone wrote that name in, it's a matter of record.
Okay, so what I'm saying, sometimes that was on the list, but in other cases, they weren't. So we need all the names.
Well,
There's no reason, if I asked for the total report, I should have gotten, so here's, Newcastle 1-2. There are 7 votes recorded, 5 are scattered. I didn't get the list of all those 3 or 5 scattered. They're not in that report that I got from Tim yesterday.
the one from yesterday. Were you able to see the actual handwritten?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, those are the names that I said are, majority of them are cut off.
okay.
The majority of them I could decipher, but there are some I could not at all. Or there's just a bubble and a line, I don't know if it's cut off or they just bubbled it in, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Well, I would suggest, and I'm assuming since he went upstairs, he'll be coming back downstairs at some point. I would suggest that you meet with him. He'll be able to show you what they have in his office as it compares to that document that was emailed to you. And maybe the ones that have been cut off in part, he'll be able to show those to you in their full listing. That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Well, like, what's the policy to assign someone? Because there are people who got, well, she got 5 right. We know, we've talked to 5 people that wrote her in. And there's 0 on here.
Well,
Or 3, but they're scattered, or,
that's why, again, I would suggest that you talk with Mr.
Right.
Germaini, show him what he emailed to you to verify it's exactly what he has. If someone says they wrote a name in, they may just be saying that, and I'm not suggesting that that's the case, but someone can say, oh yeah, I wrote you in, but maybe they didn't.
she wrote something.
Okay, so that if you wrote yourself in, there
And
should
someone
be at
else.
least one.
And someone else, so there should be 2 people in the,
And that's what I would zero in on with Mr. Germaini. They have the documents over there, and you'll be able to show them to you.
well, yeah, I was told that you had to have 10, but then it's like 1.
Yeah.
You had to have 10 signatures, which you need 10 to get on the ballot,
Mhm.
but to be on the committee, it's not, I mean, if you're running for sheriff and you're trying to win Democratic and you're a Republican, you need 100, because that's
That's right.
But local elections, if you get 1 write-in, you're on.
judge of elections,
I'm assuming that's true. He can verify that. for you.
plurality, yeah.
He has the election code book. He would be able to refer to that.
And
He's coming
so
back down the steps
what
right
is
now.
the policy of verification on here? I mean,
The policy is we have to take them as they're submitted to us. Now, yes, if an error were to be noticed, yeah, we would make a good faith effort to make that person aware of it. But
so the
evidently-
county doesn't actually check to make sure that that person is even in that precinct or that they're a Republican committee person? I mean, so there's no verification at all?
I would assume that in some format there is, but I would ask that you ask that question of Mr. Germaini so he can verify that for you.
And then when does it get corrected or how is it gonna be corrected that she's listed on the wrong precinct?
Well, again, discuss that with Mr. Germaini. He may have to consult with the county solicitor. I do understand that as party chair, you do have the authority to make appointments when there are open positions. That might be the solution to this issue, possibly.
Well, I can't appoint her until we have a reorganization meeting.
Mhm.
And I'm not doing this again. Be my head examined.
And even if you appointed her, she can't vote for
Right, for 6 months.
6 months.
Or those are party bylaws? Again, I'm gonna recommend, and since he's here today, I would suggest that you speak with him and show him these documents, and he'll be able to work with you on that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay. Any other public comments? Thank you all very much. Once again, we'll have a second opportunity for public comment prior to adjournment. Moving on, under fiscal and contractual, we have 3 warrant registers that have been provided to us by the county controller's office. They're also known as check reconciliation registers, listing of all the bills that have been paid. They are dated June 23, 24, and 27. And I'm sorry. Chris or Dan, did you care to have any comments over the discussion we just had?
No, I think we
I'm
did
sorry.
Get Tim involved in.
Okay, forgive me for not recognizing you.
No, not at all.
Okay, Chris likewise.
I concur to talk to Jermaine, this matter is all.
Thank you. The warrant registers have been submitted for our review and acceptance, but I'll give my colleagues time to look them over. And then whenever you're ready, I could accept a motion for their acceptance.
I'll make that.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you both. Chris or Dan, any questions on the warrant registers? May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Sanado,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The minutes of the June 24 meeting are in our packet. I do want to note that both Mr. and Mrs. Burchett were in attendance. And in fact, toward the end of the minutes, it states that Mrs. Burchett did ask a question, but if we could add their names up at the top, I think that would be helpful. But Dan and Chris, I'll give you time to look the minutes over, and then whenever you're ready, we can take a motion to adopt the minutes.
I move we adopt the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanado,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. Under correspondence, we have 3 documents that have come in since last week. We'll enter these into the record. The first is from Hillcrest Group Environmental Consultants out of Wexford, Pennsylvania. It's addressed to our planning director, Amy McKinney. The Hillcrest Group is corresponding on behalf of CMI Upstate LLC, and this is regarding a Pennsylvania DEP air quality plan approval application, as well as an aluminum shredding, for an aluminum shredding operation. The correspondence reads as follows. This letter is being sent to notify you that CMI Upstate LLC, formerly Ben Weitzman of Newcastle, located at 526 South Jefferson Street, the city of Newcastle, will be submitting to the Department of Environmental Protection an air quality plan approval application for their aluminum metal shredding operation. As part of this process, Weitzman will no longer be shredding ferrous materials, including automobiles, etc., and will only be shredding aluminum at this location. Weitzman will also be installing an aluminum cleaning and polishing rotary cleaner that will be controlled with a fabric collector. This new operation will significantly reduce the potential for emissions from the facility. As per DEP's request, Weitzman has withdrawn the pending application and will resubmit for an aluminum shredding process as CMI Upstate. And it's signed by Joe Pezzi, plant air consultant for the Hillcrest Group. The second piece of correspondence comes from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation in reference to State Route 4005 in Pulaski Township. It states as follows. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is planning a bridge replacement project on Old Pulaski Road, SR 4005, for a structure that spans a tributary to the Shenango River in Pulaski Township. The existing culvert will be replaced with a concrete box culvert. The stream will be diverted during construction using standard BMPs. It's signed by Douglas Seeley, Assistant District Executive in the Design Division at PennDOT's Bridgeville office. One of the supporting documents also refers to Old Pulaski Road as River Road, and I think it's, Dan, you live out that way. Some people call it River Road and some people call it Old Pulaski Road. And if I'm not mistaken, right now, that's down to one lane.
Yeah, that's just north of Nashua.
Yeah. They've got stop signs, yeah.
Chairman, is that where the boat launch is at?
No, that boat launch is on Nashua Road. Right. This would be north of, on Old Pulaski Road, it'd be north of Nashua Road, heading towards Pulaski. And then finally, Shenango Limestone and Storage Company LLC out of North Lima, Ohio, has corresponded with the Board of Commissioners as well as the Township of Shenango, notifying us that Shenango Limestone and Storage Company will soon be submitting to the Pennsylvania DEP Bureau of Air Quality a state-only air operating permit application for its facility located at 1959 Union Valley Road in Shenango Township. Those are the three documents we've received. May I have a motion to accept them?
I move we accept the documents.
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or discussion about?
Just to
Yes, sir.
notice, Ben Weissman, if you didn't know this, I didn't know it until the other day, has been sold to CMI.
CMI.
So they're down there spending a lot of money to clean that place up.
Hopefully it'll,
And they're just doing aluminum now.
Yeah.
Hopefully the explosions will stop now.
that's a good point. Thank you, Dana. Commissioner reports and, oh, we need a roll call, don't we?
Yes.
Could we have a roll call?
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Commissioner reports and comments. Mr. Kennedy, you get to go first today.
The only thing, I got a couple things. CSI is a new company. Well, it's not new, it's been here in Orange County. They moved to Shenango Township, the old pharmaceutical facility. And where they moved out of Neshannock Township, it was sold, somebody's moving in there. So a couple nice operations. The CSI one, Chris and I were in there, and it's a pretty big place, but they plan on filling it up, so that'll be good for Orange County. The other one is, we were down, Chris and I took a ride down to Packard Paint, right down the hill here. They cleaned the place up, and the building is for sale, but their plans are to try to buy it. Stay right there with that, so that'll be nice. About all I got.
Okay,
Chris might have some more to add to it.
Thank you much, Dan. Looks like I'm next. I'll note that both Mr. Sanada and I on Saturday attended the Amateur Radio League yearly public display that they have, demonstration of the work that they do. It was out of our public safety building in Hickory Township, and it's always very informative. And they work very closely with our public safety department. It's good to have as a backup if emergencies had an effect on our ability to communicate. These folks would step right in and assist us. I'll also note that last week I was in Clearfield County for 2.5 days attending a conference of our state county commissioners association's workers' compensation trust fund board. I serve on that board, and we had our summer meeting out there, which is why I couldn't get to a couple of the events that you gentlemen were able to go to. And then I'll note that the courthouse will be closed this coming Friday, July 4, in observance of Independence Day. Mr. Sanada, it's your turn.
I'll just echo what Commissioner Kennedy said with the, what's it called now, Firmac, which was CSI. It's good to see a business end over the old McKesson property. The building's less than 30 years old, and it's they're very happy to be there. And the talk that we were there, where they're looking forward to more expansion in the future, and that's more job opportunities, especially in Shenango Township. And when we did to the paint store, it was the same feeling down there. They are committed to staying in downtown Newcastle, and hopefully they can get the building and actually own it. And talked about potentially some expansion there on the upper floors. So I mean, that was actually very positive to hear from the owners for a commitment to downtown Newcastle. And I'll just echo the opportunity we had on Saturday at the 911 center, and I had a chance to talk to them as well. And as you said, they're good backup. They talk to people around the world with the ham radios, and the frequency, which I was surprised to see was it's not CB, it's ham, and it shoots up into, I guess, the clouds. And when I was there, someone was talking, I think, to someone in Arizona, and the other one was somewhere overseas. So it's a good backup in case we lose the electricity and the other system goes down. Hopefully it never happened. But there's about 150 people in Lawrence County that are part of this organization, what I was told. So it's good to know that, and I'm just happy to see that. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
Thank you, Chris. We'll move on to new business. Mike Grippo, Mike, if you mind coming up. Mike is with our Children and Youth Services Department. It's that time of year that we're doing contract renewals, and Mike, I think you got about 5 of them. Like we normally do, Dan and Chris, do you mind if Mike goes through them, and then if you'd like, if we're satisfied, we can take one motion for all 5. We can always split them out if we have to. Thank you both. Vanessa, what number do we start with?
145.
This is resolution 145, and Mike, Dan said this last week, these are very, very helpful, these supporting documents that you give us. The first resolution proposal that you have for us involves Able Screening, Inc. of Alameda, California. Can you give us a little background on who they are and what they do?
Yeah, this is a new contract, the rest are renewal. Okay. This is a company, part of Able Screening, they have a program called the Diana Screen. Okay. It's an extra layer of protection. What they do is they scientifically validate and they help identify applicants who fail to recognize sexual boundaries between adults and children. And it's scientifically backed, over 20 years of research, and it's a computer-based program. So we're going to use this for our new foster kinship, people that want to be foster kinship, and we also, sometimes we might have to use it for recertification if needed. So basically, from the program that I've read about, it's the computer screen, it's at a 4th grade reading level. Somehow they use the questions that they ask, the foster and the kinship, and they can determine if they're the type of adults that would be sexually abusing children or not. So it's a brand new program.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention, and I'll ask Commissioner Sanada if he has any questions on this first one.
No, it's very straightforward.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy? Thank you. Number 146 is it, and you said the next 4 are all renewals.
Yes.
146 is Adoption Connection PA based in Beaver County. What can you tell us, Mike?
Okay, they've been with us for a while. I do want you to refer to page 3, just so I can let you know that when they submitted the rates, if you look the 3rd column to the last, and the asking price that they want, you see that there? Okay, so we don't use the very first one, which is KC, but that was a 13.79% increase. The ones we did use that were 11%, 11.98%, we got them down to 3%. And the reason that's important is that last year we had over 20 kids in that facility, and currently we have none. So we moved them from a 11, 12, 13% increase down to a 3% increase for this contract.
I appreciate you pointing that out. Dan, any questions on this proposal? No? Chris?
I'll just thank you for your negotiating skills.
That's right. Number 147 is Family Care for Children and Youth, Inc., based in Milton, Pennsylvania, which is in Northumberland County.
Yeah, again, we had one child that we used them last year, none currently. It's a renewal, it's more of a backup, provider in case we need them. But their increase was under 3%.
Thank you very much, Mike. Chris, any questions?
No.
Dan?
No.
Okay. Number 148 is the Keystone Adolescent Center based in Greenville, Mercer County.
Yes, that's a group home. Again, they went up about 3%. We haven't used, I mean, we did have one kid last year, we currently don't have any kids this year. It seems like each year we have less and less kids that go there. I don't know, if they don't take the kids or whatever, but again, more of a backup in case we need it.
Thank you. Dan, questions? No? Chris? No. Thank you. And then the final contract, number 149, yes, 149, is Kids Peace National Centers, Inc. of Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, in Lehigh County.
Right, this is a group in foster care. It didn't have an increase at all from last year. The rate stayed the same. We had one child in there in 23, 24. We didn't have any last year. We currently don't have any. Again, this is a backup plan so the children aren't staying at the facility, our facility all night, and we need to place them somewhere.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Kennedy, questions? None. Mike, Chris? No. Okay. I believe that takes care of your requests.
Yeah.
So what we need to do now would be to entertain a motion for approval of resolutions 145 up through and including 149 as they have been submitted to us by Mr. Grippo. Could I have such a motion?
I'll make it. I'll second.
Thank you. Final questions. Chris, anything? No? Dan? Mike, anything else on these ones?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we have a motion. It's been appropriately seconded. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Will we see you next
You'll
week?
see me next week.
Okay, that's good to know. Have a nice holiday.
All right, you too,
Take
thanks.
care, Mike. The next proposal on our agenda would be Resolution 150, and this involves the public library. We have someone here. Please come up.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good to have you. Could you state your name for the record?
Yeah, it's Isabel Daniels.
Thank you, Isabel. Isabel, we're going to turn this over to you to give us a little bit of an explanation. Although before you do that, I have two quick questions. Does this proposal relate specifically to the Newcastle Public Library, or does it relate to all three libraries within the county? Do you know?
Just the Newcastle.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your clarifying that. Secondly, in the second paragraph, there's one thing that's a little bit puzzling, and this may not be on your account, but it states here, the grant agreement is made in Harrisburg, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, by the Pennsylvania Department of Education, hereinafter called the Department, and Lawrence County, located at Lawrence County Courthouse, 430 Court Street, which is all accurate. But then it has a name from way in the past. It says Lou Qualera. Lou, many years ago, you know Lou.
Oh, yeah.
Many years ago, worked in our planning department, but he's been retired for years. I'm not sure where Lou's name came from on this. Do either of you know?
It was on the agreement.
Yeah, I'm unsure. They sent us the agreement.
They being the state?
I believe so.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how that ended.
It really shouldn't be on there because he no longer is employed here. So what I'd like to suggest, if my colleagues agree, after we hear from you, that we probably scratch Mr. Colero's name from this document. But anyway, that being said, I'll turn it over to you, Isabella, if you'd like to give us some background.
Yeah, sure. So I think at the end of last year, the Newcastle Public Library applied for a Keystone grant on behalf of the municipality to fix our failing HVAC system. And we were notified in the springtime that we did in fact receive that grant. So we're just looking to get the agreement approved and signed so we can get started with our project.
It's good news. Always nice to have good news.
Which project did you say?
Our HVAC system.
Oh, the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
And I assume the dollar figure in here is accurate, $405,000. That was the amount of the grant.
Yes.
That's great. Chris, other questions?
So it's good news. I know that that's a major issue there. Getting this resolved and getting a grant to pay for it is what we want to hear.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy. When I accept the motion, I think, again, we'll remove Mr. Colero's name. We may have to determine, and maybe something you can handle or work with Vanessa on, do we need somebody's name there in place of Lou Colero? I don't know the answer to that. It might be our planning director, it might be myself, I don't know, but we probably should find out. But it certainly shouldn't be Mr. Colero since he's no longer, and in fact, he left here many, many years ago, so. But may I have a motion for resolution 150?
I'll make the motion for resolution 150.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you both. Any final questions? Isabel, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your joining us. You're welcome to stick around if you have to head back down to the library.
Probably head out.
Okay. Give our best to everybody down there.
Will do.
Tell my good friend Chris Fabian I said hi.
Always.
Chris is such, and don't forget Andrew, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're both really great people.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
thanks
you
for
so much.
joining us. The next item on our agenda is Resolution 151. This would allow the county to enter into a contract with a company known as Dear John Inc. For us to secure an office trailer to accommodate the sheriff's office. Mr. Vanasco's been working on this, and Joe, if you don't mind, I'll turn it over to you so you can give us some explanation about it.
Sure. We had what was approximately a 10 by 12, 10 by 13 room in the Kraus shelter, in what was formerly the Kraus shelter, which is now our DA's detectives building. Due to some administrative changes that were coming down the pike at the office, our sheriff's deputies were gonna no longer be able to use that 10 by 13 area. So we had to find a location. At the present time, we couldn't find a location within the courthouse which was suitable for the individuals to go. Although we do see some light at the end of the tunnel, possibly. We needed to find a temporary location for the sheriff's deputies to be able to go to do their different office work, and even to bring on occasion folks that are under arrest into the office, which is used often for that. So what we did was contact Dear John out of Elwood City. They provide mobile office structures, and everybody from the sheriff's deputies to myself to Sheriff Perry Colero felt that it was an adequate location. They were happy with the location. It will be a temporary location for them. However, in the meantime, it provides all the amenities of an office as one of our suites. It has two large offices and a large centralized area where the deputies can go to file their reports and so forth. And the location of it would be located behind Central Court.
Joe, thank you for your work on that. I know that a lot of this came about last week. I happened to have been at a conference, but I believe my colleagues were involved. Dan, do you have more to add?
Joe, the only thing I got a question for you, I know we talked about this contract, is this a month contract, month to month, or just a year?
Well, we originally have a 4-month agreement that can be extended for as long as what we need.
Comfortable with that?
Yeah, I just didn't want to get a long-term lease on this.
Yes.
Other questions or comments, Dan? No. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sanada?
I just to say, as long as it's within the guidelines and being
Yes.
done. I know that it has to be done, we need the facility, so.
Absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, thanks to all three of you for your work on this. We appreciate the cooperation of both the district attorney's office as well as the sheriff's office. This is resolution 151, which has been reviewed, and provided to us by Mr. Vanasco. May I have a motion?
I'll make that one.
I'll second. Thank you. Any further comments or discussion? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks again, Joe. We have some transfers. I'm gonna walk through them. Stop me if you have questions. And if we get to the end of it, and you'd like to take one motion to cover them all, we can do that, or if we need to split them out, we can do that. The jail has a couple here. The first is a request that $8,000 come from their contingency and be applied to their gas line item, gas being natural gas, which leads into the jail. Jail also is asking for a $5,200 transfer from their personnel line item into that of their materials and supplies line item. This one and the next one tie in with the IRP grant money that they received. We've talked about in the last couple of weeks. So that's a $5,200 transfer from within their budget. And then also from within their budget, they're requesting a $7,845 transfer from IRP overtime into IRP materials and supplies. District Attorney's Office is requesting the following. This is for the explanation being these dollars need to go into his criminal investigations account to cover the cost of an expert witness that was brought in a recent homicide trial that was held in our courts. He's asking from his contingency $6,024 going into criminal investigations, and then also from his toxicology line item, $3,876, again, into criminal investigations. Total amount being $9,900. Dan, questions on any of these?
Yeah, the gas utility, $8,000. We have money in that already?
Yeah, we have money in there. The problem with the gas, if you remember a few months ago, is replaced the boiler system, which the old boiler was making it go, I believe it was a boiler or water heaters, water heaters. It made the cost go up. So.
We'll be okay by the end of the year then?
Yeah, we should be fine in there. We have plenty of money in there.
Anything else, Dan?
That's it.
Thank you. Chris, questions?
Just the new boiler, is that operating now, Joe?
Yeah, the new boiler in there and new hot water tanks, much more economical. Obviously, when they were leaking, we were losing the value of them at the time.
These are the most energy efficient ones.
Yes.
So hopefully.
That's it, Bill from Ready. Is it ready?
Right.
Ready. We just paid.
Yeah.
Other questions? No. Gentlemen, one of you wish to make a motion to approve all of the transfer requests that were submitted?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. If there are no other comments or concerns, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Under announcements, this board will convene once again a week from today, Tuesday, July 8th, 10 a.m. in this room, open to the public. Today at noon, the Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board meeting, which Mr. Vanasco chairs, that's a public meeting and it will be held at noon today in this room. On July 9, which is a week from tomorrow, the Lawrence County Planning Commission will hold its monthly meeting at 12 noon in this room. And that's moving from the original location. They were scheduled to meet at the North Beaver Township Municipal Building, but that building is currently undergoing renovation and could not accommodate us. So I believe if they haven't done so yet, they'll have a legal announcement in the paper to that effect. And then on July 16, which is a Wednesday, the monthly meeting of the prison board is scheduled to take place in this room. And as we noted earlier in the meeting, this Friday, the courthouse will be closed. It's a federal holiday, that being Independence Day. We'll reopen on Monday. Any other announcements? That takes us to public comment. Are there any public comments at this time? Hearing none.
I just wanted to make one comment. So at the June 6th meeting or June 9th meeting, there were no problems recorded. No problems were brought up.
That's when we certified the election results. To the best of my recollection, there were none, but I'll ask my colleagues if they recall anything to the contrary. I don't recall any issues brought up.
Yeah, there weren't any. I mean, I listened. And so this was not a problem, according to Tim Germain's office. That there was somebody on the wrong precinct and that a petition was filled out incorrectly, even though it was, recognized. And I'd also just note that I shouldn't have had to, it's the second time I've asked for all the write-ins, and it wasn't until I copied you that I finally got the report that I asked for. And I have had numerous public records requests for election issues that I've either taken to court, I'm still in court, still on appeal. There's a lot of election issues that I've brought up. So I can tell you, I personally am not happy with the results that are coming out of the office, particularly now with our Republican candidates. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time? Closing comments from my fellow commissioners. Mr. Kennedy? No, sir. Mr. Sanada? None. Thank you. Vanessa, Joe, anything we've overlooked to your knowledge? Okay, thank you all. We appreciate everybody joining us today. We wish everybody a safe and happy Independence Day. There being no other business to be brought before the board, may I have an adjournment motion?
I'll say.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned, and Joe, you'll turn off the computer. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So
She
I
just said-
personally want to thank you, Wayne, that you would want to sign the document for us.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.